Championship Sunday at the DirecTV Wooden Legacy. First up, our 5th place game featuring UC Irvine and Evansville. After 2 days and 8 games, we've moved from Titan Gym in Fullerton to the Honda Center in Anaheim for the final day of competition. The Anteaters are 5-1. The Purple Aces are 4-1. The Evansville Purple Aces are out of the Missouri Valley Conference. They're led by senior scorer DJ Ballantyne, who's averaging 21 points per game and has already dropped 41 in the first 2 games of this tournament. Meantime, UC Irvine beat Boston College Friday, and Brad Doherty, their 3 big men, were unstoppable in that game.
Yes, they were. Coach Russell Turner, he really throws the ball inside. He challenges you to stop his big basketball team. In a game today where it's all stretched this and that, he wants you to defend those big guys, and they're coming right at you, going to cram it down your throat.
This should be a fun battle, not only at the guard spot with all the veterans out there, but in the post as well, as you look at Mamadou Njai and, of course, Egidius Miscavicius, big-time rebounder and scorer.
Big-time name, too.
Yeah, for Evansville. Yeah, good luck with that one the rest of the way. UC Irvine Anteaters made the NCAA tournament last year after winning the Big West Conference tournament. The Evansville Purple Aces won 24 games last season, off to a 4-1 start this year. And in the tournament, they lost to Providence in the tournament opener, but get here to the 5th place game.
It really becomes hard for young basketball players to focus 3 days in a row. But much less, it's really hard. It's more mental than it is physical. And that's going to be the key today. How sharp? Who's the sharper team? And they usually will have the opportunity to win these games because the sharper team will get off to a better start and take advantage of not being, not getting into rhythm early enough. And over a long haul, you can win the game.
Mamadou Njai took the game's first shot. Evansville looking on their first possession for their first shot, and driving is Adam Wing, and scoring. He's out of Moorhead, Kentucky.
That's a pretty easy layup. And one of the things I talked to Njai about is he needs to do a little bit of a job of coming across from weak side and blocking a shot like that. That was just a layup, and he was in the vicinity. I mean, he's 7'6", huge. He can get to that shot. He needs to put the effort into doing that.
Another touchdown on the post by Njai, and from behind there is a block.
Not all about how much you can score. A lot of times guys will, he brought that basketball down, made himself about 6'5", and that's a no-no. Told him before the game, keep the ball up. Keep that ball up high. Nobody can get to it. It looks awkward, but there's nobody can do anything.
Adam Wing had the block. Njai gets it back, and they'll call him for a charge. Saw that in the first game. They let him play in the second game on Friday. It'll be interesting to see the rest of the way.
A lot of guys will flop on him and take advantage of it. But that was a foul. I mean, he just went directly back into the guy's chest. So he's got to be smarter. He's got to use his length. Got to shoot hook shots around people. But more importantly, he needs to compete on the defensive end. If he's going to be a big-time player, he's got to block shots and defensive rebound. There's no one that should get any defensive rebounds when he's on the floor.
Less than 90 seconds in, he's off the floor and on the bench for 5-1 Irvine, the Big West favorites. They lost to Boise State Thursday and then took down Boston College by 13 on Friday. The front court was amazing, and Njai stayed out of foul trouble. Wing missed the shot.
Mike Best was incredible in their win yesterday. He really just dominated the basketball game. So let's see if they can get him going early. And Dimakopoulos is very capable as well inside.
Irvine still looking for their first points. This time they give it to Giannis Dimakopoulos. He gets position on Miscavicius and scores on Iggy.
Nice little left-handed hook shot right there by Dimakopoulos. Shows his skill with those great hands. And that's what they want to do. Irvine is going to pound it down your throat, and then as they get you softened up inside, the guards take over. Alex Young and Luke Nelson, and they just start chipping away.
It was a big win by Irvine over Boston College, their first ever win over an ACC team. It was big for the Big West Conference as well.
That's an outstanding performance by Irvine. Absolutely dominated that game.
They feed the post again. This time it's Best. He had that big game that you spoke of, and he gets blocked by Miscavicius. Already 2 blocks for Evansville.
Good job by Miscavicius coming over, helping out from weak side. That's what we talked about Njai doing.
Open on the baseline. Shot up by Jalen Brown, a junior from Fishers, Indiana, is no good.
You can see there's a little lack of energy for both teams. Trying to figure it out. Like saying, it's not physical. You don't get tired when you're 20. You get tired, Steve, when you get our age, when you get off.
Exactly.
It's mental. It's mental.
Format's tiring, though. You play Thursday and Friday. You're off yesterday. You're at Disneyland as Nelson misses. And you're practicing. You're doing a lot. And then you get up and you have to play an 11:30 a.m. game. It's early for Irvine. Later in the day for Evansville. Comes from a different time zone.
Good patience.
From the wing. Shot goes up and missed by Adam Wing. Speaking of shots, DJ Ballantyne hasn't found a shot yet.
Yeah, just kind of playing the game, trying to let it come to him, which is smart. But when you got a poor rhythm started, shooting star's got to take over some shots.
Even Coppolas backing in on Miscaviges and scoring.
Getting so deep on his post up when he catches it at 7-2. All he's got to do is just turn around and kiss it off the glass. They got to get some help back. Miscaviges has to push him off the lane a little further, and then one of the guards has to drop back in his lap because he can score.
That's what Irvine was doing against BC on Friday. Getting deep in the post. I mean, their post players had almost 50% of their scoring between the three of them. And now they'll try it from the outside, and Demokopoulos straightaway three. I think Russell Turner was happy because it's going to lead to a transition bucket by Wing, who only averages 5 points per game. He's the only scorer so far for Evansville.
Well, it gets hard when you're big guy, your 7'2" guy shoots a three. And from the top of the, obviously top of the key, and also gets beat back defensively.
Exactly.
The guy shoots a layup, so that'll make a coach blow his top for sure.
Back jumper by Nelson, and Miscaviges has the rebound. He's 6'10", a senior from Lithuania. And here's Ballantyne's first attempt. He got hammered after he let it go. Offensive board. And a drive. Brown tried to get it up to Miscaviges, and it's out of bounds, sticking with Evansville. Breaking the action, we are 5:02 in. The Purple Aces and the Anteaters even at 4.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. And Gildan. Every thread counts.
Underway between Irvine and Evansville. This is the 9th game of the tournament. 3 more to go on this Sunday. Headlines so far from the first 2 games, which were played at Cal State Fullerton. And we've seen some big performances so far from this trio, and all 3 guys are going to play later today. Alongside Brad Doherty, I'm Steve Quist. You saw Ballantyne getting headlines, but it's Ballantyne who will pay particular attention to in this game.
Yeah, he's a prolific scorer. He really does a great job of finding areas to get his shot off. He's struggling right now, not in the rhythm of the offense, but it's going to come today. And I tell you, UCI will have to make adjustments as the day goes on because he can absolutely fill it up when he gets hot.
Third member of our team is Jeff Goodman, who has more on how UCI plans to guard Ballantyne. Jeff?
Yeah, Ballantyne's 407 points away from passing Colt Ryan as the school's all-time leading scorer. Russell Turner, coach of UCI, told me earlier he's going to rotate 3 guys on him. Right now we've seen Alex Young, and they're going to try to force him to go to his right because he's more dangerous when he's got some space going to his left.
Thank you, Jeff. Irvine starters are 0 for 5 from the field. Demokopoulos comes off the bench and is 2 for 3, but still got an earful from Russell Turner for taking that 3.
Ooh, boy, Coach Turner was hot. But I really like this. I like this zone, this 2-3 zone. Takes up so much space. They're going to have to get a tough shot off.
And the zone forcing a turnover as Brown sends it out of bounds. There's Russell Turner in his 6th season. Got the team to the NCAA tournament last year for the first time in school history. They've been playing Division I basketball and been eligible for the tournament for 38 years. He gets in there. He gets a 5-year extension.
Guy's a really good basketball coach. Been around a lot of different areas of basketball, pro basketball, college. Does an excellent job of motivating these young men.
Was at Wake Forest. Tim Duncan at Stanford with the Lopez twins. Here's Brandon Smith, the freshman from Santa Ana, misfiring just as the shot clock was about ready to expire. And, of course, with Golden State in the NBA. 6 minutes in, Evansville just not in a rhythm. Neither team really is. Irvine's finding more shots. So this zone frustrated Boise State in the opener. And good way to beat the zone right there on the baseline. David Howard with his first bucket. He's a redshirt junior from Nashville, Tennessee.
Ended up getting a good shot, but you're right. Usually when a team goes to a zone, especially with the size that Irvine has, and you're struggling shooting anyway, it is a problem. But they got a nice little shot right there. Let's see if we can get a little rhythm going. David Howard knocked down a nice little jumper. It's just rhythm, trying to get that. It's all execution when you're a little tired and struggling. Got to cut a little harder, really focus, set a really good screens, talk, communicate.
Marty Simmons played for Bobby Knight in Indiana for a couple of seasons before transferring and finishing up his career at Evansville. And a stellar career it was.
Marty was a heck of a player. I played against Marty back in the Stone Age and was really a good player. He was Mr. Illinois, Mr. Basketball in Illinois back in the late 80s. And played at Indiana a couple of years. I played against Indiana on a team Marty was on. He could really, man, he could light it up.
Yep.
Heck of a player.
I'd love to see both these coaches. Let's take them outside, right?
I'll tell you what, that's exactly right.
They could score.
Russell could play. Russell Turner was a heck of a college basketball player. Excellent student as well. And yeah, absolutely, both of these guys could light it up.
He almost had 3,000 points in his career, did Russell Turner. Demokopoulos misses in the lane. There's only one starter out on the floor for Irvine right now, and that's Luke Nelson. And Smith went up and will foul.
Yeah, I think the coaches are trying to go through their rotations pretty quickly, trying to get some fresh legs and fresh attitudes out on the floor in order to pick up the pace just a little bit.
Smith fouls the coach's son, Blake Simmons, 6'5" guard forward combo, a junior, averaging 6 points per game, and extends Evansville's lead to 3. Purple Aces out of the Missouri Valley Conference. They won 24 games last season, but they finished 5th in the Missouri Valley Conference. Only went 9-9 in the conference. And Mamadou Ndiaye comes back in. Almost 90 seconds into the game, he picked up an offensive foul and had to go to the bench.
That Missouri Valley Conference is so tough. It's so tough.
Wichita State right now at 2-4 is sitting in second to last place.
That's amazing. Just didn't see that coming. You know, you always look at the rankings at the beginning of the year, and you always, you know, especially past decades, you're going to look in there and see Wichita State there somewhere. And you always say, oh, yeah, man, Greg Marshall and those guys are tough at the end of the year. So a lot of basketball left.
Well, with all 5 starters coming back and 9 returners, they only missed 3 guys. Evansville is going to play tough, you would have to figure, in the Missouri Valley Conference. They're going to be a hard out for anybody, whether it's home or on the road. Here's Ballantyne. He's 0 for 2 so far. Muscles it up from just right of the lane and picks up contact. That's on Aaron Wright.
UCI got the ball where they wanted to. I mean, they got it to Ndiaye right at the basket, so can't ask for more than that. And they come down to this end and play poorly defensively, don't communicate and reach.
Here's Ballantyne. DJ is having a tremendous tournament. 6'2" senior from Kokomo, Indiana. 18 points against Providence in the opener, 23 against Santa Clara, so 41 points coming in. Makes 1 of 2 at the free throw line to give him 42 so far in the tournament. I think he's going to be a lot like Denzel Valentine. There'll be a stretch where he'll heat up here shortly.
Yeah, I agree with you. Irvine having a difficult time getting the ball in the hole. Nice drive.
There
Smith.
we
go. That's what you need.
Right down the lane to the hole, he scores the bucket.
Maybe that'll knock the ice off Brandon Smith, going nice to the hole, that left hand, and getting an easy layup, not settling for the jump shot. As the defense continued to yield, he continued to press forward, and that's good awareness.
That ends a 7-0 Evansville run. Irvine within 3. Open for 3 as Neslev Prozoya.
Now that ball snapping a little bit.
Ndiaye against Miscavicius. The double team comes. Now a triple team, and he turns it over out of that. And Ballantyne back the other way in transition, has his first made field goal.
Awful easy layup, and what Ndiaye has to do in that basketball, if he doesn't have a move right away, you got to get rid of it. You know the double team's coming, or even if it's not, you can't take that much time, because now once he catches the ball, the referees are looking directly at him, and they're waiting on him to slam his shoulder into the guy's chest to try to displace him. So catch it, make a move quick.
Double team comes, he gets rid of it. Head fake and a drive by Jaron Martin. He's having a nice tournament. And there is Ndiaye getting the rebound and the dunk.
Good job, good follow-up by Ndiaye. They're hanging all over him. I mean, there's a lot of contact down there, but they're hanging all over him, so he's allowed to move.
It's like a dad at preschool with all the kids all over him.
Yeah.
Just before the end of the day.
And look how much room he takes up in that lane.
Miscavige sets the screen for Zoya. Miscavige has it against Njai, and quickly closing was Galloway on the double team. And a whistle and a foul. They're going to get Galloway for the personal. Mamadou Njai starting to make his presence known underneath the basket. 3-point lead for Evansville. As they went to Disneyland yesterday, got to spend some time there, got an opportunity to ride California Screamin' with our colleague Sean Farnham.
Looked like they were having a great time yesterday, wandering around the park and eating all that good park food. Man, it was so much fun. Had a great day yesterday.
That we did. Here, two veteran teams battling one another. And it's the Evansville Purple Aces out of the Missouri Valley Conference with an 11-8 lead over the defending Big West Tournament champs in Irvine. By the way, the Big West Tournament Championship will be played here at the Honda Center again. This is where Irvine wrapped it up against Hawaii last year to make it to the tournament for the first time ever. So they're getting some good experience here and playing a couple of games at Titan Gym.
They really are. And this has been great. It's been a great tournament, man. Some really good teams. It's been fun to watch. Evansville and UCI, Irvine, the past few days. They continue to get better each day. It's been fun. Providence played big. Arizona struggled a little bit. Michigan State's had some challenges, so it's been very competitive.
Here's Brandon Smith remaining in the game. Finding his shot is Alex Young and burying it from the wing right. He's had a nice tournament. He's the 2011 Oregon 4A Player of the Year out of Phoenix, Oregon.
Yeah, he has had a nice tournament. Been very aggressive.
6 points shy now of 1,000 for his Irvine career, trying to become the 25th Irvine anteater ever to do it, and a turnover for Evansville.
Good job by Njai coming over and getting those hands up, taking up all that space. Well, they got to do a better job on the rebounding of the ball. It's one and done for Irvine. They got to do a better job getting better shots and boxing out, crashing that offensive glass.
Islav Brozoya, the Villanova transfer, ran down the rebound. 3-point game, Purple Aces. In the lead, coming up on 9 to go. Wing elevates from the wing and scores the 3 over Best.
Nice initial dribble to the strong side and then kicking it back out the wing in that corner, deep in that corner. Nice play. Nice design play to go back across the defense and make everyone turn their head.
That's another assist for Evansville. 4 on 5 made field goals. And as a team the other night, did you see the box against Providence? 26 assists on 27 made baskets. That's taking a page out of the Michigan State Spartans book. Miscaviges with another block. That's his second already.
Miscaviges coming over aggressive defensively. I like that. See a nice drive here. You throw it back across the defense and really make them pay. Zoya does a good job. Then Miscaviges comes over here and blocks that ball. He's so aggressive. He's really physical with Njai, too. He's doing a great job.
Little frustration because he's been unable to get it going on the offensive end. Great passing in the interior, and beating the shot clock was Best. Speaking of assist.
Nice play. Way to find your teammate. Way to be patient as well. Oh, little forearm shiver there by Wing. Pop Best in the chest.
DirecTV Wooden Legacy from Orange County. Here is your up-to-the-minute semifinal and championship bracket. We'll have number 3, Michigan State and Providence. 10 Eastern on ESPN2. Providence had Chris Dunn on the bench against Arizona for a big stretch the other night at Fullerton. He comes in and just lights the place up. There was a late Arizona turnover, and Providence getting the upset. That's a good-looking team.
Boy, they are.
Dunn's outstanding.
Ed Cooley's doing a great job, that basketball team. They're a dangerous team. That's someone you don't want to play there. I'm telling you right now.
Martin finds the open jumper as he shakes his man.
They're a handful. They've got scoring. They've got everything. They're fast.
Blake Simmons with the bucket.
Simmons, nice drive. Good job by Blake. A couple easy layups on both ends. You see Coach Turner is absolutely livid. Gets one easy one down here for offensively for them, for UCI, and goes the other and gives up an even easier. It's not what you want.
No, Best put it on the floor, kicked out. Here's the New Mexico transfer, Dunning, and as he drove, he was fouled.
Nice job by Dunning turning that corner.
Breaking the action, Evansville, a 4-point lead over Irvine. Continues with a doubleheader on ESPN at 7:30 Eastern. Number 12 Virginia takes on Ohio State. Then old rivals meet again, and it should be a great one. Number 2 Maryland and number 9 North Carolina. Tuesday night on ESPN. Both games also streaming live on Watch ESPN. Well, what do you think of the Missouri Valley Conference? Got a big win over North Carolina there.
They did, absolutely.
Iowa.
Northern Iowa absolutely lit the Tar Heels up. You know, the North Carolina came out in preseason #1, and they showed a lot of weakness there. I think they've got to get better defensively. Obviously, not having Marcus Page is a huge thing in his leadership on that basketball team, but it shows, you know, with one guy gone, which is a key part of the team, you still have to have people that step up and step into those spots. So I'm sure Coach Williams will get his guys. It's a good learning tool. Good opportunity to bounce back and not take yourself too seriously. Got a lot of work to do.
That this league has right now is strength at the top. I mean, you look at it, Wichita struggled in Orlando without Fred VanVleet. He's got that hamstring injury. I talked to Greg Marshall before that event, and he said, listen, we know we're going to take some hits now in the early conference period. They need to get him healthy. But right now, this league is as open at the top as it's been in the last few years, and Evansville knows this. I talked to DJ Ballantyne before the event, and he said, this is our time. If we're going to get him, it's going to be this year.
Irvine chasing 3, back with the basketball. Njai, quickly the double team comes, and again, he's able to dunk over Miscavige's in the closing wing.
I really like the fact that he finishes so hard around the basket. But the one thing, and it's just a little thing, he's got to quit bringing that basketball down.
Yeah.
It gets him all bound up, and it's just, he doesn't need to do that. He can dunk the ball, keeping it up high. There's nothing no one can do about it. As a matter of fact, he'll draw more fouls.
Struggled in the first game against Boise State, but what a game he had against BC. 7 of 8 from the floor. He's got another rebound.
He's 2 feet from the basket. Yep. I'll shoot it. I'll pass that out.
Passes it up, and an attempted 3 by Nelson. Mamadou Njai on Friday, 16 points, 5 boards, and a block. We've only seen him have 2 blocks so far in this tournament.
Got to block more shots to be 7-6. Got to block shots and defensively.
You think those will come, certainly, when Big West play comes?
Got to. So he catches this basketball. Great catch right there. I mean, look at that. He's made himself, this guy's 6'3". He's made himself, you know, 6 feet tall. And he got lucky there because if the defender ties him up, if wing ties him up, it's jump ball. Keep that ball up high and just go right over top of people, and then he draws a foul.
I'm sure he's told that quite a bit.
It is.
It's an easier said than done kind of thing.
It is easier said than done. It's a habit. It's a you know, drilling it 1,000 times when you go to shoot during practice. Every time you catch the ball, you're thinking about keeping it up high.
He is from Senegal, but he played his high school basketball here in Southern California. Brethren Christian out there in Simi Valley, a place where a lot of kids from Senegal come to the United States to learn the craft. And there's DJ Ballantyne hitting from the outside.
Hitting from about 30. Man, he was deep behind the three-point line. Stroked that one.
He's 2 of 4 from the floor, 6 points. Wing, the leading scorer for Evansville with 7. The lead is 4. Again, 2 teams with veteran guards, a lot of returns. Should be a fun matchup as Nelson misfires. He's out of Worthington, England.
Evansville really defends.
Ballantyne.
Oh, it's halfway down. Evansville really defends. They get back, they talk, they body you. They make it really, really difficult to cut.
And there's a travel. Turnover by Irvine. That's their 3rd. Nelson with the miscue. Aaron Wright comes back in. They'll get Nelson off, a bit of a breather for him. He's coming off a career-high 10 assists against Boston College, and the All-Big West preseason selection has logged a lot of minutes over 3 days, and that's You know, as a coach, too, you have to kind of manage that, right?
You do.
3 games in 4 days.
Oh,
maybe
that's exactly right.
teams have nagging injuries we're not aware of.
Yeah, you got to manage as much as you can, but you want to get everybody in a rhythm. That's the hardest thing. Get a good, solid rhythm where it's almost like a machine. And like I say, the physical stuff these young guys can overcome. But if they have nagging injuries, mentally that drags them down. The tiredness drags them down. You got to get them to focus.
Offensive foul against Blake Simmons, and that's going to be the second on Simmons. So the coach's kid will go over to the bench. He'll be spelled by Mislav Brazoya. Still the Purple Aces by 4. 5th place game of the DirecTV Wooden Legacy from Honda Center in Anaheim. 3 games coming up after this. We've got Boise State, Arizona, a rematch.
That's going to be fun to watch.
Second time those 2 non-conference opponents are going to play in a 10-day stretch. First time they played was a non-bracketed Wooden Legacy game. Demokopoulos backing in on Miscaviges. He's got some good moves.
And I love it. He called for that basketball. Miscaviges was being real physical with him, pounding him from behind, just bouncing into him. And he called for Demokopoulos called for that ball.
Miscaviges, and that time Demokopoulos disrupting things. Talking about Miscaviges being the all-time school block leader when it's all said and done. That's a tough guy to score on, and he's a great rebounder too.
I appreciate the fact that the officials are kind of letting them play a little bit. It's not getting out of hand, but they're letting them have room to move and to be a little bit physical with one another, which is fine. It's all part of the game.
Miscaviges had 21 rebounds the other night against Santa Clara, and there's a travel. That's good defense right there by Alex Young. Giannis Demokopoulos off the bench, solid at both ends for the Anteaters, who are down 2.
Back time to the good old days when the mama sang us.
The Wooden Legacy, part of Feast Week presented by Lowe's, and with such a tough field, Brad Doherty, if you emerge from this at 2-1, that's saying something about your team as we close November.
Oh, I absolutely agree, because you play different types of teams that have different styles as you look down through the list here. I mean, everything from a team like Irvine that is huge to a team like Michigan State, which is just loaded, and then Providence with their scores and tough defense. And you've seen a little bit of everything, zones and man-to-man, tough man-to-man. You're going to be prepared to go into your conference play once you leave this tournament.
Denzel Valentine against Chris Dunn in our championship game. What do you like?
Man, that's going to be great, I tell you. And they see them on each other quite a bit. I like that. I like the matchup.
Demokopoulos this time drawing the defensive assignment is David Howard, and Demokopoulos scores over him for points 7 and 8.
He's been real aggressive on the offensive end. He's defensive rebounder. He's playing well. He's going to be the difference today for this UCI team. He's stepping it up. Mike Best hasn't got going yet. He was so good yesterday. I mean, they couldn't stop him yesterday. And today he's just really struggling getting going. So Demokopoulos is taking it upon himself to get that motor going offensively.
Inside of 10 to shoot. Valentine has it, elevates over right, and scores it.
Tough shot, good defense, and you get a guy like that. Wright was in good defensive position, but Valentine's just such an excellent scorer of the basketball. There's nothing you can do about that.
He has 8 now. He's closing in on 2,000 career points at Evansville and has a shot to be the school's all-time leading scorer. Needs to clear 2,279 points. And there's a foul.
David Howard been a little bit too physical with Demokopoulos as he runs across the lane. That's one of the things this year that the leagues, all leagues, are trying to clean up in college basketball, is not impeding the progress of someone cutting or running. And I see a lot of those calls this year with the big guys trying to clamp on defensively and slow down the other player from getting to the block.
You'll hear that term freedom of movement quite frequently in November and December. Then it'll be interesting to see if, when January and February and conference play comes around,
the intensity picks up.
Yep, and I know it's a directive, not an emphasis or a suggestion perhaps like it was a couple of years ago. But we'll see if the officials are consistent. They have been so far in this tournament.
Evansville defensively really good.
Great drive leads to an open look for Young, and he buries the 3 as he closes in on 1,000 career points.
They're going to do a lot of, if they can get those open shots down, those long-range jumpers, it's going to really help inside, because defensively Evansville is just, they knot up the lane.
And there is the first made basket of the game by Miscaviges. Miscaviges a 67% field goal shooter. Likely to leave as with the best field goal percentage in Evansville school history.
Good help on Miscaviges. That's good defense coming from the weak side, helping his teammates.
And a steal by Irvine. Here they come down the floor with numbers. And a bounce pass from right to Martin. And Miscaviges hammers him. Prevents the bucket, but free throws are coming.
Good hustle, good play on both ends of the floor. Miscaviges came over and did a great job defensively. And then Irvine hustled back. Fast break opportunity. Martin goes to the basket, gets hammered by Miscaviges.
Jaron Martin, junior out of Sunland, California, at 11 points against BC, his best game so far of the year. Averaging 7 points per game. We are even.
You mentioned to me a little longer, there's ice on the floor. Now all of a sudden I'm getting cold.
I know, I shouldn't
have said anything.
I know.
So I'm getting stiff and cold. What a beautiful place. What a Honda Center is absolutely gorgeous.
Home of the Anaheim Ducks in the National Hockey League. The Clippers used to come down here and play a few games till they got big time.
Oh yeah, they're big time now up at Staples Center.
Irvine with a 1-point advantage. Coming up on a minute to go here in the first half of this 5th place DirecTV Wooden Legacy Classic game.
I think they get something for Ballantyne here.
Screen
Good defense.
high
Good defense.
Miscaviges, yep. And Ballantyne will take the deep 3 and misfire.
Oh, that was a tough shot, man.
But with the way Miscaviges rebounds, I mean, it's not a bad shot to take. Martin counters with a 3. Well, here comes
Unless
Irvine.
the other team comes back and hits a 3.
Yeah, that's true. 7 for Martin. Irvine's lead is 4. And a timeout called by Evansville with 34 seconds remaining. And what a run here by UC Irvine to get right back in this thing.
Yeah, they've done a good job of starting to make shots. I think the big thing for Irvine, too, is, you know, they're a smart team. They want to take advantage of their size, but their ability to push the basketball with Martin, Young, Galloway, and Nelson is huge because it really softens up. And like I said, they want to pound you inside, then start shooting jumpers, and then transition baskets are huge.
If they do win and exit this tournament at 2-1, they'll have Giannis Demokopoulos to thank. Some great effort off the bench in 3 games.
And I like he's down on that block. Nice left hand. Look at that. I mean, right and left hand for the big guy. That's going to make him some money one day. I'll tell you that right now. Nice little jump hook. Good defense. It's really effective.
An 8-2 run for Irvine over the last 2:10. Puts him up by 4 points, which is their biggest advantage right now in the ball game. They were down as many as 6. Demokopoulos, one of 2 7-footers on this team. 2 years ago, Russell Turner had 3 before you got a logjam and 1 transferred out. In the corner on the give and go, and it's Wig, and another assist to Evansville as Wig hits the 3. He's in double figures, believe it or not. The first Evansville player in double figures, and he'd been struggling a little bit with his shot in this tournament.
Yeah, Adams spotted up, got his hands ready, knocked that shot down. Got a good-looking shot, good-looking touch, and they need him. They need him to get hot, knock some of those shots down because, you know, they're big. When UCI's playing really big, it's hard to get anything in the lane. Look at that. And the defense is late getting out. Nice pass inside, inside out. I mean, he's squared up. You've got to make those shots. You got to at least take them.
The officials across from us, and it's David Hall, Mike Cyphers, and Frank Harvey working this. That's 87 years of on-the-job officiating experience with 50 NCAA tournaments worked. And they want to confirm if, in fact, this was a 3.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's kind of...
We had a similar review earlier in this.
Maybe not.
The toe there might not be enough to overturn it. The right toe, you know, if he's got a size 11.5 shoe, maybe they change it to a 2.
I think it's a 2. I think he had his foot on the line.
But size 11 and might get a 3 out of it after all.
Right there. Oh, that's a pass. Of course it didn't count then.
But here'll be the kick out.
Right there, I think he's on the line. Yeah.
And it's that second line, by the way.
Yes.
The lighter of the two red. And they're going to call it a 2.
I think the officials would be right in doing so.
So Wig will have 9 instead of 10. He is not the first in double figures for Evansville.
That's okay. Keep shooting that shot. That's a shot they want. And defensively, as a coach, you're looking at that saying, okay, we're going inside out. If he's getting a 2-point shot, we're not doing a good enough job defensively. It should be a 3-point shot because the defense is closed out so hard. Didn't quite get there.
9 assists now on 10 made baskets. Final 10 seconds. Young going to work. Young with the floater, and he drew contact. He'll go to the free throw line here with 5.4 to go.
Good job by Young getting into that lane. He's played really well in this tournament. So much energy.
Second on Miscaviges.
Great facilitator of the ball. He's done a really good job. Speaking of Young, he's had a heck of a tournament. Almost 5 assists, 4.5 assists per game.
Goes to the free throw line with 5 points. 3 shy of 1,000, trying to become the 25th anteater to reach 1,000 points scored. And he'll be 2 away now. Aaron Wright replacing Jaron Martin.
Young and Wright are almost bookends when you look at them. They look so similar in their look and their play.
Career point 999 for one Alex Young, who in the offseason plays in England's national program along with Luke Nelson. Here's Howard, and Howard misfires, and that is the end of the first half. And a productive end to the first half for UC Irvine. Marty Simmons' team is down 4 at the break, 31-27, and have to find a way to get Valentine some more good looks. He has 8 points on 3 of 7 shooting. Here's Jeff Goodman with Russell Turner.
Coach, DJ Valentine, a prolific scorer. You've held him in check for the most part, 8 points. How have you been able to do it?
Well, it's a team effort to guard a player like that, but I think we've had good individual defense on him too. Our shot blockers have been good around the paint, which is where he gets most of his points, and we've had a good emphasis on playing his 3. He's just a terrific scorer, so we're not going to hold him to a low number. We just got to really make him work.
You have a size advantage against just about everybody. Today, how have you been able to take advantage of that?
Well, I think our shot blockers have been effective in the rim at discouraging, their easy baskets, and we did a good job of playing into Giannis and Mamadou on the other end. And if we can continue to impose our will with our size, I think we have a great chance to be effective.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Jeff, great job as always. Our halftime score, UC Irvine 31, Evansville 27. Let's now go to Brendan Fitzgerald and Dino Gaudio with our ESPNU halftime report.
Steve, thank you very much. 4-point lead for the Anteaters, fresh off their first trip to the NCAA tournament last.
This type of play, a tight game with 2 veteran teams, and so far it's been Irvine's bigs against Evansville's guard play.
Yeah, Irvine's done a great job of taking advantage of their size. Dimokopoulos has been excellent down on the block, giving them a lot of opportunity. When Njai gets the ball close, he finishes strong. So they're really establishing tempo, making them have to come down and guard. And then Valentine on the other end has not shot the ball extremely well. He's 3 for 7 right now. Probably not enough shots for him, but he's starting to warm up just a little bit. I think we're going to see a much better second half.
What stands out so far as we get the stat sheet, 17 bench points for UC Irvine. And you see what Wing and Valentine have done so far. The rest of the team's got to start stepping up, especially Miscaviges.
Yeah, and there's a lot of layup opportunities I saw early in the game that weren't taken advantage of. So we'll see if the defenses pick up, and maybe we'll see more jump shots from Valentine.
That's not a good start. A turnover for Evansville. That's going to be their 7th already of the game. Egidius Miscaviges has just 4 points and 6 rebounds.
And sometimes when you're playing against a player like Njai from Miscaviges, you focus so hard on your defensive assignment. You just put so much energy into it. He did a good job right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Looked like he might have got a little piece of that ball. Njai went up, and Brown turns it over.
You don't free flow enough is what I was saying into the offense to take advantage of that. Look at this. He's putting his body on it. There he goes. There's that basketball. Basketball comes down, makes him 6 feet tall. He gets a shot blocked by a guy who's 8 inches shorter than he did.
They only have Miscaviges for 1 official block. That right there should be his second.
I've seen him block 2 and alter several, I thought. So
I'm right there with you. Nelson pull-up jumper is no good. Miscaviges saves it to Wing. Shooting percentage for both teams about 40%.
Yep, Coach Simmons really making them move that basketball, make that defense move, make those big guys move from side to side until you soften it up a little bit and you get a nice shot.
Second chance opportunity. Miscaviges count it, and Njai fouls him.
Well, that's a nice reverse layup. Njai's got to move his feet. Got to move your feet. See, straight up, and he's just trying to defend with his length, which is fine in most cases, but got to move your feet and slide to position.
Second on Njai. He got his first 90 seconds into the game and quickly went to the bench for Russell Turner.
Anytime you reach away from your body with your arms, it's a foul. It's going to be a foul. Got to stay within that cylinder and move your feet. Rule of verticality.
Lead is 1 for the Anteaters, the defending Big West Tournament champs. And Young now reaches over 1,000 career points. 1,101, 25th Anteater ever to reach that plateau.
Good looking play. He curled off that screen so well. Left no space. He was the only one open. Only one that's going to be available coming off that screen. No defender.
Miscaviges blocked by Njai. Got it back. Out to the coach's kid. Simmons drives to Miscaviges, and he can't finish. Njai just grabs it.
Almost. Nice play. Good hustle by Evansville.
Njai with a handoff. Sets the screen. Young has it now. 2 minutes into the second half of this 5th place game. Evansville, the defending CIT champs from last year, but hoping to get to the NCAA tournament for the first time since '99. Best, and another block by Miscaviges.
Nowhere to go. Good offense. I'm sorry, good defense by Evansville.
Valentine too hard for Miscaviges. And that's turnover number 9 for the Purple Aces.
Miscaviges just taking up so much room defensively. Njai pushed him under the basket, which is great. And Njai tried to make a nice pass over the basket, but there was no room.
Valentine has not played like this so far in the tournament against a very good opponent, Providence, who's in the championship game. He had 18 points. 23 against Santa Clara, and in this one just 8 points on 3 of 8 shooting. 2-time all Missouri Valley Conference first team last 2 years, and no active player in the NCAA has scored more points than him. Slow start. Inside of 10 to shoot. Njai has it against Miscaviges. Kick out Martin, spots up, and an air ball on the 3.
Good to see the pass inside out. Did a good job. Njai did getting the ball back out. Shot. That's a good way to play the game. But shot was a little short. I get that thing up. Should have ate an extra bowl of oatmeal.
Early start, an AM start for both these teams. A little bit more difficult for Irvine. And Valentine getting harassed there by Alex Young, a fellow senior guard, and a turnover.
Sloppy basketball. Pick up the pace. Good defense, too. That creates a lot of sloppy basketball sometimes. That creates turnovers offensively. The other team's defending well.
These are 2 teams I don't think I want to see in the NCAA tournament in the first round.
I agree.
With their veteran play. Njai gets the body on Miscaviges. Can't get it to fall, and Wing has the rebound. And Miscaviges that time with the slam dunk.
Great hustle by Miscaviges. He's out hustling Njai down the floor.
Evansville needed that possession. Their last 8 possessions, they had 4 turnovers and only 1 field goal. Njai left of the lane, back it in on Miscaviges, finds the short right-hander. And it's going to stick with Irvine. Last touch by Wing.
Miscaviges just great hustle. Just left Njai in the dust. No one there to help. No one. I mean, great hustle by the big guy. makes a play on the defensive end and hustles down and gets the layup. Way to reward it.
You see why he's a 61% career field goal shooter. The school record is 63%. He's sitting there at almost 70% for the year. Simmons, Ballantyne. They'll try it on the low post. Brown, wing, out to the wing. Simmons, and he unloads for a 2.
Well, it's a good ball movement by Evansville. They kept that basketball hopping. Good job. Letting everyone touch it, making the defense move from side to side. And Simmons is a wide open little jumper. He'll knock those down all day.
11 assists on 12 made field goals. They're third in the nation in assists. And Demokopoulos, who brings a little more offense with him, onto the floor.
Of course, Evansville box out.
And Young ties up Simmons, but that's a foul. 15-12 to go in regulation. Purple Aces now back out in front.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving.
Ravens, Browns at 8:15 tomorrow on ESPN.
The season never ends for your equipment. When your work is done, True Fuel just keeps working. Because it's ethanol-free and it won't break down like pump gas. True Fuel is the first ready-to-use engineered fuel and synthetic oil, precision blended for your 2-cycle gear that continues to protect your equipment during storage. So when you're ready to start up again, your equipment will too. Try True Fuel today and learn more at TrueFuel50.com.
We're all familiar with this, Axe Daily Fragrances. But what you wouldn't have seen is this, Axe Dry Spray Antiperspirant. Why are you touching your armpit?
I was just checking to see if it's dry.
Don't. That's weird. The first ever dry spray antiperspirant from Axe.
When you move, Degree Motion Sense reacts. With unique microcapsules activated by movement that release bursts of freshness all day. Motion Sense, protection to keep you moving. Degree, it won't let you down.
Getting ready. It's a challenge. But there's always a smart solution, like Philips Norelco shavers. 72 rotating blades, 151,000 cuts a minute to catch even the last hair standing, so you can be your best you.
Footer Brad Doherty, who played for North Carolina in 10 years for the Cleveland Cavaliers. How did you fit on some of these rides?
My wife, my little girl Stella. You know, I'm such a big kid. I will brutalize myself to get on these rides. You can see my head sticking up over top of the thing. It was absolutely phenomenal. I had a turkey leg yesterday.
Yes.
About the size, it was actually the size of a Volkswagen. And I devoured it. I had a vat of ice cream. I ate churros. I lost my mind yesterday. It was wonderful, wonderful. I had a stomach ache too, but it was great. We had a blast yesterday.
I was over there about 7 hours, and it really didn't feel like it was that crowded.
It didn't. It wasn't bad yesterday, though.
Do the fast pass, folks. Do the fast pass line.
Just come back and get on it and go.
Yep. Develop a little bit of a strategy ahead of time. You'll be fine. Simmons is at the free throw line here. Extends the lead out to 2 for the Purple Aces, who are 4-1 so far this season. One loss coming in the opener to Providence. They beat Santa Clara in game number 2.
Evansville's a very methodical basketball team. They just don't give up. Ooh, they really make you work for it on the offensive end.
Reach in on Jaylen Brown. That's going to be his first. He's out of Fishers, Indiana. They haven't been to the NCAA tournament since 1999. I like their chances this year. Northern Iowa has a good win.
Yeah.
Wichita State, you know, they'll have something to say when they get healthy at the end of the year. Demokopoulos misfires. That's his second time he's tried to shoot from out there. This time a little bit shorter in.
You're Evansville, you play really good defense, and that's the shot you want.
Brown over the extended wingspan of Demokopoulos.
Good defensive stand as well for UCI. Patience in their offense. If they can get something, you get it down to Demokopoulos. We know what he can do with it.
Plenty of time to shoot. Yep, there's Demokopoulos against Miscaviges. Quickly the double team comes. He spins on it.
Oh, he had a nice layup. Just too firm with it.
It's going to stick with Irvine, and they'll get a fresh 30-second shot clock. So more defending needed here for Evansville. Ballantyne trying to give a little bit of help there to Miscaviges.
Miscaviges is knocking Demokopoulos off the block.
Young knocks down his defender in Brown.
Well, he's Evansville. I'm telling you, they box out. They don't give you anything. You're going to earn it.
They have 23 rebounds to 22 for Irvine, and a foul.
And half their size. It's all just grit and scratching down there, man. They get after you.
Second on Aaron Wright. Third team foul against Irvine, and to the free throw line goes DJ Ballantyne. He was the MVP last year, was Ballantyne, of the 5-game CIT tournament. 27.2 points per game over those 5 games.
Talk about Evansville, and I was talking to Jeff Goodman earlier. I mean, this team is a small school, like 2,000 kids. That's it. And budget-wise, Jeff, how do they compete in this conference with some of the heavyweights?
You know, Brad, they're at the very bottom, and that's why the job Marty Simmons has done is amazing, to have them in the hunt each of the last few years, getting in the postseason. They're dead last in the Missouri Valley in terms of budget and resources. You compare them to a team like Wichita State, it's not even close.
Yeah. So let's give Marty Simmons a pat on the back, because he absolutely coaches these guys up. He's done an excellent job with this program. If you play these guys, I wouldn't want to play them. I would not want to play them.
Demokopoulos gets away with a bump. Officials thinking perhaps a flop on Miscaviges, and he scores the bucket.
He did. He went down. He tried to utilize the angle there and take a flop, because Demokopoulos is getting a little frustrated with the physicality of Miscaviges.
There's a reach in on Demokopoulos as they fed the post. What do you think?
Let's see here.
It is a European Soccer Sunday.
He's been really physical. Yeah, it's somebody yanked the chair out from under him.
I'm glad you pointed that out about the Evansville enrollment. I didn't know that until you said that. Officially,
yes.
2,822 kids.
Wow. Small little school, small little budget. But that cat right there, Marty Simmons, can coach some basketball. These guys show up. They show up. So you see that Evansville on the front of that jersey, you better be ready.
That shot well off the mark there by Brazoya. Villanova transfer, junior. I can't think of one that's small. There's got to be a smaller one somewhere. Maybe one of the Jesuit universities up in the East.
Maybe.
Demokopoulos to the right hand on the baseline right. And once he starts warming up, forget about it. He's had some good tournament games.
Very skilled with both hands. Utilized the pressure, the bump from Miscaviges, and just turned and shot that little shot. That was so nice. Very nice touch.
Dozen off the bench for Demokopoulos from Greece, 7'2". This has turned into quite a battle in that time. Miscaviges might have got away with one there, gets the position, and now has 10 points.
Well, he established that position. Nice drop step, turn those big broad shoulders, give him a little bump, clear himself a little room.
Evansville 39-37. Martin in traffic. Open from the wing is right, and looked like Brown got a piece of it. Altered that shot, certainly.
Nice play.
Yep, terrific passing.
That's just textbook fast break basketball.
That's what they do best. Brazoya there with the assist to Simmons, and that's 14 assists on 15 made field goals.
Ball handler driving down the middle of the lane, driving down the middle of the court. You got your wings filling. With those hands ready, everybody's sprinting to that offensive end. Layup opportunity.
Well, we have two really good passing teams in this tournament, and there's a big three by Martin. I want to talk about fundamentals of what Michigan State, they lead the nation in assists and rebounding, and Evansville, 22 assists a game, that's third. Simmons pulls the trigger and buries a three.
Wow.
Evansville by 4.
That was a confident stroke. He's got a good-looking shot. Every time he shot the ball today, it looks like it's going in. That's a nice stroke for Blake Simmons.
Simmons with 13. Only averages 6 a game, and look at Martin go to work for the second straight game.
Good job by Martin turning the corner, didn't need any. No help from Evansville defensively. A little breakdown that time, and Martin made him pay.
A dozen for Martin. The bench has been outstanding for Irvine. Remember, on Friday it was that trio of front court guys. And from the bench, Coach Simmons saying, I want a timeout. Of course, you can't call it there, but gets it in the word into one of his players, and they make the call of the timeout. Evansville up 2. TV Wooden Legacy, and what a great field we had this year. How about next year, you ask? They just announced who's in the field for next year. Big West at the top. We'll have a team in there. UCLA could have a lot of fans in this building and at Titan Gym next year.
Outstanding. That'd be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. Can't wait.
Texas A&M is playing really good basketball to start this year, so maybe one of those teams on the field makes a run deep in the NCAA tournament, gets possibly in a Final Four. UCLA's had a great recruiting class coming in. Lonzo Ball and TJ Leaf. Simmons drives baseline, gets it to Miscaviges, and he jams it home.
Wow. Man. I'm going to tell you, he finished like a man up there around the basket. Knew he had that big 7'6" guy coming at him. He went up and hammered it home. Wow.
13 for him, 1 rebound away from another double-double in this tournament. He had 17 and 14.
Good defense.
And Njai, yep. Can't get it over. Miscaviges to fall.
Miscaviges, just excellent defense. Good position, good physical presence. Nice, solid all-around game.
4-point lead for Evansville. They've been up by as many as 6. That came at the 9:01 mark of the first half.
Nelson almost had a nice little pick there.
Miscaviges showing us if he has a jumper, and he misfires from the baseline left.
Not a bad shot at all. Make that big guy come out and guard you. Take him away from the basket. Get him out of that lane. Free it up.
Martin has had a nice game. Gets the pass past Miscaviges, and look at Njai throw it down.
Yeah, Miscaviges made a mistake there. You don't want to overplay. There's no need to overplay Njai, because any mistake you make, he's going to be able to finish just like that. So keep him in front of you, just like he had been doing. Keep that body on him. Njai, nice finish around the basket. He gets it down. He flushes it.
Great pass inside to a streaking Ballantyne, and it came from Brazoya, and they have another assist. Evansville will have a chance to extend the lead when we come back at the free throw line. Coming up, year of the senior in college hoops. We'll discuss. Year of the senior so far in college basketball, and maybe the year of the senior here in this DirecTV Wooden Legacy. We got 4 pretty good ones here in this field.
Yeah, we really do. And the idea behind the senior players, every Division I basketball player that comes into whatever league is a confident kid. He's confident in his own abilities. What happens when you stay all 4 years is you become confident in the process. And when you're confident in the process, you know that you can always go to that fundamentally, and you're going to have success. And that's what we're seeing with these young men. They're running these programs, they're executing night in and night out, and they're executing the processes. And no matter how good a player they are, they become better because they've stayed, because they've gained and gleaned the experience and the knowledge, and it's absolutely a treat to watch these seniors play.
You spent all 4 years at Carolina.
Yes.
What'd you learn?
I mean, playing for Coach Dean Smith was an absolute treat. I learned more about life than I did about basketball by using the game of basketball. And you just grow as a young man, and you become this individual that learns to work with other people. You learn to work through processes. You learn to lead. It's just all about those things, the intangibles that you get from being in college for years.
And Jeff, you have the heartbeat of the seniors and of college basketball. What's your thoughts on all this?
You know, how about another one we didn't mention? He's a redshirt junior, and that's Chris Dunn. Redshirted his sophomore year because of the shoulder injuries, and I talked to him extensively before the start of the year and throughout this tournament. And he said, listen, I've made a progression. Last year was the first year he played full-time point guard in college. He came back, could have been a lottery pick, came back to get better and get his degree. He knew he needed to be a better decision maker. He knew he needed to dribble lower. He knew he needed to improve his shot. I mean, you learn everything, and that's what these guys have done. They improve each and every year.
I heard someone the other day, just joking as they were leaving the arena, about Denzel Valentine and his perspectives of being a pro. And somebody said, I think he's too old. I mean, you can't be too old if you stay all 4 years.
That's ridiculous. No, absolutely not. And what you see in both leagues, you see it in college basketball. Last year was a tough year in scoring in college basketball because of the one-and-done situation. I think it hurts both leagues. I think if you're going to go to college, this is just my opinion, but I think you should have to commit to play for at least 3 seasons. Go there
like
for 3
college
years.
baseball.
Yeah, stay there 3 years. And if you don't, if you want to forego college and go straight to the NBA, that's fine. But I need to see the NBA step up and make the NBDL a real minor league system. So it gives kids somewhere to go. I think that would be fine. I think it would work, and I think both would benefit.
Brad, I'll take 2 right now. If kids were forced to stay 2, at least they'd have 2 years invested, have a better chance of actually coming back and getting their degree. And I agree with you 100%. The D-League, they got to pay more. They got to pay more money.
Make it
right
real.
now.
Yep.
They're making 12. Some kids are making 12 grand a year. That is not enough for anything.
No,
I mean, 12 grand?
Not at all.
The top guy makes about $25,000.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of those games. I felt bad sitting there courtside as the announcer making more money than all 5 guys out there.
That's right.
Miscaviges, 2 more for him. 51-45. He's now had his 34th career double-double, 15 points, 10 rebounds.
Nice hustle by Miscaviges. Man, he's just a hard-nosed kid, always around that basket. Love to watch him play.
Breaking the action, under 8 to go. 6-point advantage for Evansville. West Honda Center in Anaheim, 5th place game of the 2015 DirecTV Wooden Legacy. Irvine hanging around. They're down 6. They have their bench to thank. 26 bench points for the Anteaters. On Friday, it was that trio of bigs scoring 41 of their 80 points. Njai against Miscaviges, and Njai works him deep into the post and scores. He's playing with 3 personals as Njai.
He actually showed very good patience there. You'd like to see him move that ball quicker, but the defense didn't do a very good job of dropping back in his lap. And, if you don't get there, he's going to score.
Miscaviges, and he got fouled by Njai, who just picked up his 4th.
Man, that's a nice little pick, and Miscaviges is just so aggressive. Get a nice little back pick here from Simmons, and he just, man, that's a nice play, taking advantage of just maybe 2 or 3 feet of space.
Irvine is actually going to get better offensively now as Dimakopoulos comes in for Njai, who sits with his 4th personal at the 7:32 mark.
Actually, that was Ballantyne that set that back pick. Guard coming through as if he's cutting through the lane. Sets a nice little back pick. Nice play.
Miscaviges misses, 17 and 11 for him. He's got a new tournament rebound record of 41. He had 9 against Providence, 21 against Santa Clara, and 11 and counting so far today. The old record set by Drake's Jordan Clark in 2012. Irvine needs a bucket.
Yeah, they do. They've had a tough time scoring the basketball. They just got to, and one.
Count it. That's Dominique Dunning, a senior New Mexico transfer.
Every bit of that. Marty Simmons just overruns him just a little bit. It's actually Marty's son, but he overran him just a little bit. And Dunning was able to turn back into him and go down the right side of that lane, and no help defensively.
Simmons to the bench with 4 personals. Dunning can't complete the 3-point play. He got out of New Mexico a couple of years ago before Craig Neal took over. New Mexico had been down the last couple of years. They certainly could use his services. They had a big significant injury too here in the early going, and a drive, and scoring it is Brazoya.
Oh, he went right down that baseline. Somebody's got to put a foot on the baseline, stop the basketball. That's awful easy.
That's his first made field goal, but his big contribution in this game has been 8 of the 19 assists. Open in the corner for a 3 was Nelson. Evansville has tied their biggest lead of the game, this time down the floor with a bucket. Can take their biggest lead of the morning/afternoon. Brazoya adds on 3 more.
Tell you what, he got a nice little ball fake, made that 2-3 zone just shift about 4 feet just with a nice ball fake and drilled it.
Purple Aces have their biggest lead of the game, 9 points. Russell Turner says, let's go, guys, let's move it. We need possessions, we need buckets. Demakopoulos trying to get the position on Miscaviges, and he got fouled in the process of getting the rebound by Best.
Yeah, Broya did a good job. Look at this ball fake. There you go. Make him move. Made him move about 3 feet. That's all he needed. Excellent use of the basketball. Good fundamental basketball.
This kid playing his best stretch at Evansville in recent memory. Actually broke his hand last year late in the season as they were getting ready to take on Wichita State, so they lost his services, had to settle for a berth in the CIT. He's back and playing well early on. Miscaviges to the free throw line, 17 and 11 for him.
Well, Miscaviges got a nice touch. He missed that free throw earlier, but I looked at his form. Everything looks good. I'll tell you, this young man's impressive.
First team All-Missouri Valley last season, and he led the conference in rebounding the last 2 years. And he'll end as one of these guys with over 1,000 career points and over 1,000 career rebounds. It's a heck of a run.
Yeah, that's a good college career. Nice touch.
Yeah, Miscavige is a kid who came over. He came over because he had a teammate when he got here that was also from Lithuania. Came over, didn't know any of the language at all. Said to me when Coach Simmons was yelling at him in practice, had no clue what he was saying.
That's a good thing. Sometimes Coach yelling and screaming, you don't take it personally.
And Coach Simmons said he thought he knew what he was saying, but he's really gotten better with his English, and he made his first trip back home to Lithuania since arriving at Evansville this past summer. Wow. First time he'd seen his older brother, who helped raise him, in 4 years.
Wow.
And Miscaviges drives. Njai that time the block. Irvine has a big possession here. Down 11. Nelson will draw contact. Kind of lose sight of that. We always watch this basketball. We think we see all these international guys coming over here, and you think about the language that they've got to go into a classroom. Think about it the other way.
Yeah.
Us going over to Lithuania, speaking only English and trying to, you know,
just getting comfortable.
Get a degree.
That's right. You know, trying to interact with your peer group, get a degree. It would be so difficult, and you know, it takes a very mature young man to do that. No doubt about it.
Here's Nelson at the free throw line, a chance to cut into the lead with the clock stop. That's his first point of the day today.
Really surprised at how well Evansville has executed against UCI. UCI's it's a big basketball team, but they've got good depth, and so you would think the depth would be the difference. But and as you saw in the first half, I mean, UCI's bench scored 26 of their, their points. You know, so I don't know what the breakdown is here. It's got me a little bit baffled because I thought Irvine would be able to dominate this game.
Yeah, Evansville's really locked down Nelson. Those were his first 2 points of the game. He came in averaging 10 points. He'd scored 20 over the first 2 games of the tournament with 13 assists. He's been a non-factor here today. A drive and scoring it is Brown.
Went right at the big guy. That little shot right up over top of him.
What can Brown do for you? He can give you an 11-point advantage. Matching the biggest of the game for Evansville on the drive, a reach-in. And Jaylen Brown fouls for the second time in the ballgame on the other end. And still not in the bonus is UC Irvine yet. Evansville is, so they'll get a chance to inbound it here. 4:29 to go in this 5th place game. Irvine's not going to be happy to see the calendar change over to December. They got some tough road games coming up in December.
Yes, they do.
Njai over Miscaviges, and foul underneath.
Zoya and Best got tangled up, and Zoya had the position. He had positioning on Best.
And Best picks up his second.
Well, he didn't have it originally. Best had the position originally and just got kind of rode around and got to hold that position.
That's team foul number 8 against the Anteaters. So now Rozoya gets a chance to go to the free throw line and extend the lead. We're touching upon that Irvine schedule here in just December. Got to go to St. Mary's. The Gales are unbeaten. Got to go to Utah State. Logan's a tough place to play. Got to go to Oregon, and then you end up at Kansas in December. So they would love to turn things around here and have a little momentum going into December. This is all before December.
Man, I'll tell you what, they're going to have to improve upon today's performance. They've been good so far in the tournament. They've been impressive, but right now they're just a little flat.
Oh, yeah, and there's finals in there, too. They'll have a bit of a rest to take on a Pacific team that has struggled at the start of their being in the West Coast Conference.
Great help.
Yep. They deny the post touch to Njai and get the turnover.
That's great help by Berzoya coming over from the weak side, anticipating. You know, it takes such a long time when you throw the ball to such a big guy like that because you're arching it up, trying to keep it away. It's a great time for a really good defender to sneak over and knock it away.
That was the first second-half turnover for Irvine in this game. They only have 5 for the game, and they protected the ball well against BC the other day.
Always do.
Valentine hadn't been much of a factor until now, and he knocks it down. Quiet 14 for him on 5 of 10 shooting. Drive the other way. Dunning can't get it to fall, but there's going to be a foul.
Zoya just wiped out Njai. These Evansville kids will box your behind out. You better be ready.
No active score in the NCAA in his career to this point has scored more than Valentine. He's got 2 more.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
3:30 to go here in this 5th place game. How about this guy, Iggy Miscaviges, in the second half?
It's so impressive. He is just absolutely dominating this basketball game on both ends of the floor. Defensive rebounding, offensive, slamming the ball. Look at this. That's over a 7'6" guy going right in his face. I like the guy's tenacity. He has played outstanding today.
15 of his 19 coming over a stretch of about 17 minutes. Not even that, 16 and a half minutes.
And a nice young man. Talked to him yesterday. He's very personable. Great sense of humor. Was laughing. So excited yesterday to go over to the parks and have fun. Comes out here and he's taking names today.
He was a little frustrated in the first half. He got a smile on his face there, and he grabs yet another rebound, his 15th. Again, he has the tournament record now, over 40 rebounds in this tournament. Evansville trying to get out of this tournament at 2-1 and in 5th place.
I need a little bit of clock up right now.
Valentine they make the extra point and pass rather, and Miscaviges throws it down.
Nice job by Jalen Brown making that extra pass. They just really do a good job moving the basketball, and Miscaviges didn't mess around at all. He slammed it home.
21 and 15 for him. Njai goes in for the dunk. And, you know, you look at this offensive outing and think about what he's had to try and do defensively. He's working just as hard on the defensive end.
Yes, he is. Nice pass. Good. That's a way to recognize your teammates' ability. Good ball movement. It's just a well-oiled machine. Wham! Throws it down. Nice job.
He's got to contest with 2 7-footers each time he goes down defensively. Njai at the free throw line. We were tight till about the last 5 minutes. And Irvine's bench has been big, but I mean, you can't win a game with more than half your points coming from your bench.
That's exactly right. You got to have consistency. You want to come out and you want your starters to establish, and the bench just to keep it going.
21 and 16 for Miscaviges. And there's some blocks in there as well. I hope he gets an opportunity to make the all-tournament team.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt. He's been outstanding. He's been dominant. His team has put up a heck of an effort today.
Championship game tonight on ESPN2, 10 Eastern. Number 3, Michigan State, who's looked outstanding in this tournament, will take on Providence. And Denzel Valentine, he's been so fun. He's coming off a career-high 32. That was on Friday, and Thursday we saw him with his 2nd career triple-double. And he'll go up against Chris Dunn, who basically willed Providence to victory, playing with 4 fouls on Friday against Arizona in the late game.
Chris Dunn will guard you behind Tucson. He will lock you down defensively.
He hit some tough shots. I mean, Sean Miller just said, look, it wasn't like we gave him easy shots.
Right.
We were all over him.
Right.
He just made the shots.
Exactly right. Tell you what, this is going to be a disappointing loss for Irvine. I'm going to tell you that right now. They so much bigger, so much deeper. And
look at Nelson go down too with what looks to be a hand or finger injury. I mean, this is your top player here. 14 points, 5.5 assists per game. And with that daunting December schedule coming up, you can ill afford to lose him.
See what happens here. Oh, we got hit in the groin, the upper groin region. Yeah, it hurt all the way over here.
All right, it wasn't the finger.
No. In professional wrestling, what they call it, the solar plexus.
Yep. I always ask you, who's the general manager of the Lakers?
It's Kupchak, yeah. The solar plexus.
16-point advantage.
So that's, well, interesting. See what they call.
Saw one of the officials making the traveling signal. And they'll call the foul. Brown will be at the free throw line. Sometimes the officials have some fun. We're going to show you this here in a minute. And Brown makes the first.
I was kidding. I was looking at him laughing. I was like, what is it? What happened? These guys done a great job today, too, officiating this game. I really do. I think they've let them play.
Yep.
They haven't whistled it up. It's just been a great game. Letting big guys go at it a little bit. Let them scrap out front. I think it's been a good game. Well officiated. Good defense. Look at that defense by Evansville. I mean, no one's free. Look at that's a tough shot.
Martin fouled in the act of shooting three. Yep.
Bailed him out. It was going to be a horrible shot.
Brown with another personal.
I'm impressed with them. I'm going to tell you, that Missouri Valley, I'm telling you, these guys, they just come to play. They box out. They talk. They anticipate weak side. This guy right here needs some kind of award. He's done a great job. Marty's a heck of a basketball coach. These guys are fun to watch.
Veteran group. Might get out of here with a 20-point advantage. They were in a dogfight for most of it. And, you know, we haven't even really seen Ballantyne do what he does.
No. They're so well balanced. Everyone participates at a high level for this Evansville team, and everyone has a hand in it. You know, it's just they share the ball. Whoever's open gets a shot.
Ballantyne still 7 points off his average of 21 a game. The Scavages has the 21 for Evansville this afternoon.
But that's okay. You know, and what will sometimes, you know, the announcers, people like, they'll say, well, he had a bad game. No, they're going to win this game. And his teammates played well, and it's all about that W.
And a travel. This will be a disappointing loss for Irvine.
It will be.
They really, even though they're going to be 1 and 2, they really just didn't get the consistency that they would have thought for 60 minutes each afternoon.
No, I mean, their initial game with Boise State, they came out that 2-3. It was not giving up anything. I thought they were going to shut down Boise State. It just kind of broke down throughout the game. And today, they just had a tough time getting going.
That was Haraldus Siprakinis, a sophomore from Lithuania. Perhaps he crossed paths with Miscavicius.
I'll tell you what, enough consonants in those names. I don't know what in the world.
We could have an all-name team today,
no
right?
Kidding, man. I have a tough time with Smith and whatever's easy. Those are difficult. Smith and Hall, I can't even hardly say that. Miscavicius.
We got the easy job, though. Normally there's NHL hockey here.
Oh, yeah.
Our feet are starting to get cold with the ice underneath it. But there's a lot of Russian names. So this is nothing. Here's Ballantyne.
So Evansville gets to leave this tournament on a high note. Got to win. Played really well. So they'll feel much better about practice come tomorrow.
Yep, 2-1 is not shabby at all.
No.
They will have beaten Santa Clara and Irvine, 2 West Coast teams, one out of the Big West, one out of the West Coast Conference. They will have lost to Providence They probably learned a lot about themselves.
Yes, they did. And then UCI, they know what they have to work on. They know what they got to improve upon. Did a good job on Ballantyne.
23 assists on 25 made field goals for Evansville. And a quick foul by Martin. And Russell Turner saying, I don't foul him. 1:20 to go. Here comes Simmons to the free throw line. The Aces, too. You peruse their box scores. They shot 51% against Providence and still lost by 10.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Providence is so good, though, boy. I'm going to tell you, defensively, so fast, aggressive.
That's not going to happen a lot. When you get into the Missouri Valley Conference and you shoot 50%, you're going to have to like your chances each and every night, regardless of who you play.
Any conference. That's a good night.
We've seen a lot of good shooting performances in this tournament. Now, that might change the rest of the way since we've gone from the smaller Titan gym and that atmosphere to the Honda Center.
Yeah.
Smith on the drive, and there's a foul. Irvine this year is going to get challenged by Long Beach State. Dan Munson's team that we saw.
Yeah, that's a good basketball
against BYU. They won. They're playing that daunting schedule again. You're all just getting ready in the Big West for the tournament on this floor in March.
Yeah,
it's a one-bid league.
Monson's club, boy, they play at a frenetic pace too, and fun to watch. And excellent coach.
That Maryland transfer, Nick Faust, was very talented.
Special. He's special. A lot of people watching him for the next level.
I mean, there's no margin for error when you get in to March. And really, these Big West teams, you're playing all these tough games. You're not worried about the result today.
Right.
You're more worried about how your team played. But you're getting ready for a 3-day stretch in March, and that's it.
That's right.
So many times the regular season champ can't finish it in the tournament. That happened last year.
Which is too bad, because I'm one guy that always believes in I think the regular season is so important. That championship needs to be honored. 3 months versus 3 days, but that's just the way it is.
Brown finds the shot and hits it, 75-56. The winner of the Big West last year was UC Davis. They did not make the NCAA tournament. They had one of their better years ever.
Amazing.
Hawaii's always a good club. UC Santa Barbara, their head coach, Bob Williams. I know Alan Williams is gone, but they can always play. Thunderdome's a tough place to go. And Riverside's got 2 all Big West contributors on their team. Final seconds of this one, Irvine's not going to foul. And this thing was actually tighter than the final score will indicate. But Miscaviges came to play in that second half. 21-16 for the Evansville senior.
Brought his hard hat
and the lunch pail. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And Marty Simmons' team is 5-1 and finishes in 5th place in the DirecTV Wooden Legacy. Iggy Miscaviges, 21-16. Evansville finishes the tournament at 2-1. For Brad Doherty, our great crew, I'm Steve Quiz. Back for Arizona, Boise State shortly.
Egidius Miscaviges for Evansville, 21 points, 16 rebounds. He was the best big guy on the floor, and DJ Ballantyne in the second half really came on, finished with 14 points. This is an Evansville team, Brendan, that will contend for Missouri Valley Championship this year.
You know their head coach well.
I know.
Coached against him?
No question. Marty Simmons could score probably, and I'm being kind, 50 pounds ago, but could really play. Went to Indiana, finished his career at Evansville.
His team gets a win over UC Irvine today. Let's get to some highlights, some top 10 teams in action, including the Duke Blue Devils hosting Utah State at Cameron.